All right. Fire away. Go ahead.
Hi, this is Shanice, and you're watching the Break It Down show.
Oh my goodness. Shanice has been with us, entertaining us for so long now. She started when she was 11 years old, signed to A&M Records by John McClain. He is an executive who is responsible for so many careers, including Janet Jackson. And so it all ties together that you are now performing as the female vocalist on the residency for Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis at the Venetian. And
Yes.
that's such an amazing gig. So this particular series of the Break It Down show is called Getting the Gig. And it's about specifically that. And then what do you do with a gig now that you have it? So I would say that right now and throughout your career, you've had so many coveted positions, including, I mean, you've done it all. You've been on Broadway. You were in a reality TV show with your husband. You have given so much of yourself for our entertainment and so much of your voice. And so here we are in this essentially retrospective of the careers of Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, of which you were a part. But you are the entire female voice of their canon. How's
Yeah.
that going?
Oh my goodness. I'm having such a great time. It's myself and Ruben Studdard. So I
Mhm.
sing all the female stuff, and Ruben does all of the male songs like the Ushers and the Boys to Men and New Edition, and then we'll have surprise guests show up. So we've had Shantae Moore, we've had Stokely and Yolanda Adams and Ann Nesby, gospel singer from Sounds of Blackness. So it's fun, and when I tell you, it's called Nothing But Hits, and every single song that we perform is like went number one. So they've had like I think maybe over 40 number one hits, so it's what I'm telling. I'm having the time of my life. It's so much fun, and I really love them. Not only do I admire what they've done, like with music, but they're just good people, and
Mm.
that's rare to find good people. And it's hard because this industry could be a lot, and some people are good, and then there's a lot of them out there that's not so good. So I'm just so honored to like work with them, and I just love them as people as well. So I'm having fun.
That's terrific. That's so good to hear. Let's talk about that for a minute because, for one, I've never met Terry. I have met Jimmy. Um, you never, though, hear anybody, and you want to talk about two guys who have worked with everybody. There
Everybody.
is not one moment of anybody's story where they say anything but the most kind and generous things about either one of those two.
Yes, yes. They're not, like I remember we did a show one time and we didn't get to really have a sound check. They rushed us off stage, and because when there's other acts, you got to hurry up and get everybody in there so that everybody can do the sound check. And I've seen artists like have a fit that they can't get their full sound check. I've seen artists like go off, and but when Jimmy and Terry was so calm about it, they said, okay, we'll just come back later and perform. And they were so nice about it, and I was like, I love them. I love them so much.
It
And
seems
we're
like,
actually also talking about recording some music. So
okay.
I'll be working on new music this year, and I'm excited about that as well.
I would guess so. I'm sure they're excited about it too. I mean, the thing is, when you get to work with them, you have been chosen to cover such a wide gamut because, like you said, you're covering all of the female acts that have worked with Jimmy and Terry.
Ooh,
And, you have a voice, a vocal register that's very wide. But when you
thank you.
start as low as Tony Braxton, and you really have octaves to cover.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's like, I mean, because they've done Janet to Yolanda Adams to Sherelle, and I have to cover all of those acts. And I remember at first I was so nervous about it. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going from gospel to R&B to pop to and I don't know. I'm just having fun with it. It's been working out, um, and I got to we did a show in Minnesota like maybe about a year ago. So that was like kind of like my practice. Now we're doing Vegas. Vegas went really well. Our shows sold out to the point where they want us back in August. So we're going to be doing 3 weekends in August.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow.
So
So
much fun. Then
you,
we have dancers, so I get to dance, not only sing. I get to, dance, and the venue is beautiful. The stage, we have a runway, so I get to work the runway. It's just fun. It's so much fun.
how much choreography is there in the show?
There's choreography, even with the guys, with Jimmy and Terry. We all kind of, even if it's just a 2-step, everything is pretty much kind of choreographed in a sense. So it amazes me because they're holding instruments and they're moving with us at the same time. And I told them, I said, I think that's amazing that you guys can sing, do the movements, and play the instruments. So
Well,
yeah,
yeah, it is. I mean, but their lineage,
they've been doing it forever.
been doing it forever. And even as members of the time, when we first got familiar with, when they first came out before being producers, they were members of the time. And of course,
Yeah.
as members of that band, they were expected by Prince to sing, to play, to
And
do both of those things better than the record, and to do it while doing the choreography.
yeah, you're right. You're right about that. So yeah.
So they roll that downhill.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what has it been like when, first of all, you did that show in Minneapolis, which, you are from Pittsburgh and they're from Minneapolis. So this is their homecoming show, but you're familiar with an audience that welcomes you home. I imagine that Pittsburgh is, folks from Pittsburgh love their own. And
Yeah.
I know they love you. So
Yeah.
when you get to play Minneapolis with Jimmy and Terry, how's that?
It was so much fun, and it was packed. It was a huge crowd.
Wow.
The people were just dancing and singing and screaming, and yeah, they in Minneapolis, they loved them. They loved them all over, but yeah, Minneapolis is their hometown, so the energy was so great. And I remember I was just kind of learning the lyrics. So Terry Lewis's son had to like type out the lyrics for me, and we had like a little teleprompter up on stage because that was my first time, so I was still learning the words. Now I have the lyrics down pat now, but I just remember being
You
so
had to learn everybody else's songs.
right. So I had to learn. Yeah, it's not like I'm doing my own set. I had to learn other people's songs. So that was a little challenging, but we got through it. And thanks to Terry's son, we had the words up on stage. So
All right.
that worked
So
out.
it's
But
a family effort.
I want to say this. The first time they asked me to do a show with them, it was actually in Pittsburgh. They had a Pittsburgh gig.
Okay.
And, I was so hurt because I had another show that I committed to.
Oh,
And
no.
once you sign a contract and with a promoter, you can't just back out on them at the last minute. And so I was so hurt because I was like, that's my hometown, Pittsburgh. And they really wanted me to do Pittsburgh, but I couldn't do it because I had another gig. And then
what? If I was the promoter, I would let you out. I would have said, now we got to work something out. You're going to have to help me out and make up for this. But a show with Jimmy and Terry in your hometown, come on, promoters.
Yeah.
We got to let the world have that.
I was bummed about that one, but
so what about the selection process? Tell me about how you found out how this particular show was pitched to you, or what you had to do to was there a convincing process so that you could let them know, or did they just choose you out of the gate? How'd that go?
I ran into Jimmy Jam at a Janet concert. It was actually at Yamava here in California. It was at a casino. And Jimmy walked into me, we were talking, and he said, how would you like to do some gigs with us? And I was like, yeah, of course I would love that. And a lot of people say stuff like, in this business, people say stuff and a lot of things just, it doesn't happen.
Oh, we should work together. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Let's have lunch. And then you never hear from them again. People do that a lot. But Jimmy mentioned that, and I was like, yeah. And then like not too long after, I got the phone call that they wanted me to do some shows with them, and that's when they reached out to me about Pittsburgh, and I was like, wow, Pittsburgh, that's where I'm from, and I can't do the gig. And then the next gig after that was Minnesota, so I got to hop on, in Minnesota. So yeah, it was just
Okay.
Jimmy just they just thought of me and reached out and asked me if I wanted to do it. Jimmy reached out to me. We talked about it at Janet's concert, and here we are.
Fantastic. So now, okay, let's go to that moment where you are, you're going to do a show with them, and you start to understand what the show is. Was that first show like a greatest hits kind of show? Was it a
Yeah,
rough draft for this?
yeah. It's like all of their shows. They pretty much do all of their
I mean, you
hits.
have to.
Yeah. So it's kind of like it was that show was preparing me for Vegas. Yeah, it was a
Okay.
great. Um, I wouldn't say rehearsal, but it was to prepare me for what we're doing now.
So how far in advance did you get a set list? You could start doing homework.
Maybe about oh, when we did the very first show in Minneapolis, I remember it wasn't that. That's why I had to have the lyrics up there because it was kind of like
It was
it was,
fast.
it was fast. It was fast, and I was like, oh my gosh! So, and then sometimes they'll throw an extra song in there and go, oh wait, we're gonna add such and such, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta learn extra song. So yeah, so the first show now I kind of got like now that we've been doing it, I'm good. But when we first did Minnesota, I remember they were kind of throwing songs at me, and I was like a little it was a good feeling, but I was a little overwhelmed because I had to learn all those lyrics. But we made it. We made it through.
Okay. Now, what talk about what kind of pressure, what kind of burden it is to perform these songs, because you're performing songs that were hits for
Yeah.
people and that speak to a lot of these artists, highlights of their career. And now here you are, it's on you to do it.
It was a lot of pressure in the beginning. I'm not gonna lie, I was extremely nervous. But after we got through the first show and got past the first show, and I saw the way the crowd was reacting and dancing and singing,
Ah.
and I talked to Jimmy Jam's wife afterwards, and she said I made her cry. She said, it was
Oh.
beautiful, you made me cry, and I was like, okay. I was like, okay, I'm okay now. I can do this. I can do this. So, but at first I was in my head and I was really nervous. But after we got past the first show, it was okay.
That's fantastic. That's so good. So, okay, the pressure's off. Have you talked with any of these artists about your interpretations of their songs? Has anybody given you input?
I haven't talked to Janet yet, but Jimmy told me that she heard about it and she saw some of the, I think she didn't get to come to the show, but she's seen some of the clips online
Yeah.
and she was really happy with it. So that made me happy because I wanted to make her proud. So that made me happy.
I know that took the pressure off. If Janet says it's okay, it's okay.
Yes. Oh my goodness. That girl is incredible. And then all the dancing. So I don't do as much dancing as Janet, we do like some stuff here and there, but it's not like full out Janet.
Yeah. If you can hit a couple of those just to remind us, oh yeah, that's right. That's what went there.
Right. Yeah, like on Miss You Much, we do this one signature move that she does in Miss You Much. Just the one, real quick, and then I'm out. That's it.
Yeah, it was a lot of movement, and you got singing to do.
And singing. Yes.
Yeah. So what
And
about
what's so crazy? I know this is like, I mean, I've never used in-ears. You know what in-ears are, right?
Yep.
That's like every time I do my own shows, I always tell them to just put the monitors on stage and just turn my mic up really loud and just let me go. Because I've always felt like the in-ears makes me feel like I'm disconnected from the crowd and
yeah.
And I feel like I'm in a recording studio and I just can't feel the energy of the room. And it was just weird to me.
Yeah.
And with Jimmy and Terry, with that show, I had to use the in-ears because we did a rehearsal. And if I go to walk out into a certain part of the stage, I was way off the beat. because I didn't have in my in-ears. It was so strange. I was like, why am I off? Like, I'm not on the beat.
Because you got this runway too. Like you said,
Yeah,
you
we
have a
have this
big stage.
runway. So when I go out on the runway, I'm not up for some reason. It's just I have to wear the in-ears. So I was forced to wear the in-ears. That was like terrifying for me because at
Wow.
first I kept telling them at rehearsal, I can't hear myself at all. So I would take one ear out and I would have one in and one out, and I was still off the beat. And they're like, no, you got to put them both on. Then we figured it out. My mic pack was turned down. I was almost in
Oh.
tears. I was like, I don't know if I can do this because I have to wear these in-ears and I can't hear myself at all. There's no way I'm going to be able to perform, and I can't hear. Well,
But you weren't high up enough in your own mix.
Right. My mix was turned all the way down, and I didn't
Yeah.
know it because I'd never done in-ears. I always would avoid in-ears. That was so working with Jimmy and Terry, now I'm used to the in-ears now.
Okay.
It took me a minute.
I want to just take a time out for our audience because not everybody understands that. I don't like in-ears either, but what it is in-ear monitors literally go inside your ear.
Yes.
And usually, especially at the top end where your performances are, they'll actually take a mold of the inside of your ear and make it for you. So they put this monitor inside your ears and it hooks onto a wireless pack that's usually on the back of your belt.
Yep.
And when you hear on stage what everybody's doing, you can sync up with the band.
Right.
The problem with that, and I share this, this particular preference with you because I don't like in-ears, but I'm a drummer. I don't have to go anywhere.
Yes.
If I have to walk to the other side of the stage where the sound is different,
I had to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the other thing about that
now, which is really cool, I want to say this. Now they can put the audience so I said I can't feel the energy of the room, so they added sounds from the audience so I could hear the crowd, and it didn't feel like I was like, oh, this helps. Now I don't feel like I'm boxed like in a box,
Yeah.
So that was cool.
So again, for our audience, when you have these things stuffed in your ears, you can't hear the natural sounds that are in the room.
Exactly.
And unless they put a mic, and in great settings they do put a mic out in the room so that audience reaction is also in your ears. Yeah, because we feed off of that energy as performers. And if you take that completely away.
And without doing that, it's like if somebody takes their fingers and just plug them in your ears, it's like, but it worked. I'm so happy that I'm used to it now, because at first that was challenging, very challenging for me.
That's fantastic. But you've been in Broadway shows. They didn't force you to use in-ears in a Broadway show?
No, when I did Les Misérables, I didn't wear in-ears.
Wow.
Remember, no, I didn't wear in-ears. No.
Terrific. Now, okay.
I opened up for NSYNC in '99, and I remember they had some in-ears, like they had them like fit like to fit my ears and everything. And I did a sound check with them and I took them out. I said, I can't, and I just can't do it. And I didn't use them the whole tour. I just didn't use them.
Wow.
I just had the monitors up really loud, and and I just kept it moving.
Yeah. Just as a side note, I saw a show in a casino not too long ago. I'm up north of you, and the casino nearest me is called Cache Creek. We went there. They have a stage where there's no stage volume. There are no amplifiers on the stage. It's electronic drums, and everything is in the in-ears. So if you're standing at the front of the stage, there's nothing on the stage as far as air moving at you.
Wow.
And it is so disarming and peculiar. It's really weird. So I'm just saying that because I don't encourage it. And if you're a sound man or a sound designer or a theater designer out there and you have this wild notion that you want to do that, don't do that. Please don't.
No.
Anyway, let's get back to you and this
lesson on in-ears.
Yeah. Let's get back to you and this glorious show that you're in, though. So thankfully you're in a cast that is led by Jimmy and Terry, and they're terrific to work with. And you have all these songs that you're doing. What do you have for backup vocalists?
We have all of the original backgrounds sampled.
Okay.
So my leads are live. Like I'm singing live, but the backgrounds are all recorded. because we
Okay.
don't have singers.
Right. So you have a clear stage. You don't have anybody up there, backing you up. You don't have any.
We have the bands. We have
Okay.
oh my gosh, our band is
Got to
incredible.
be smoking.
I love our band. We
All
have,
right.
I think, the best band ever. And so we have a band and we have dancers, and Ruben and I, we sing all our stuff live, but we have backgrounds are sampled.
Okay. Now, the thing about having background vocals that are sampled is you got to sync with them. And there's a couple different ways to do that. But of course, Jimmy and Terry are going to employ the best, the brightest, the cleanest, the most awesome way to pipe in those vocals and still allow the space for your live vocal to live.
Yes.
Have you suffered any kind of has it been any tougher to get used to having those vocals piped in? Or how about you when you're just being Shanice out on the road? Do you typically have tracks with your band? Do you have a full
Yeah.
live band? What do you do?
I have a live band, but I do have my background sampled, so I'm used to that.
Yeah. Okay.
It would be awkward for me if if it wasn't there, it would be hard for me. But no, it really helps having those vocals in there. It really does.
Yeah. Yeah. And so do you have in your ear anything special, like in the mix that's in your ears? Again, for our viewers, we all get our own mix. And as the drummer, let's say I would have Terry pumped up because I need to hear the bass because I'm going to lock with that. What do you have in your mix in your ears? Is there anything in particular that's any different than we would hear in the room?
No, I just like to hear myself really loud.
Okay. Okay.
I want to make sure I'm hitting every note.
Yeah.
As long as I'm up louder than the music, that's all I ask for. And then I want to hear the audience because, like I said, if I don't hear the audience, I feel like I feel disconnected, But other than that, as long as I can hear myself in the crowd, I'm good.
Yeah. Those crowds that come to see you in Vegas, how does it differ prepping for a show that's a residency versus if you have to take it on the road?
How is it different from prepping for a residency? It's kind of the same. I mean, I see it as far as making sure well, you know what? For our residency, we had special lighting and we had, we have these bubbles that come down from the ceiling and all this little fun stuff that we don't get to do. Sometimes if we do a festival or something like that, it's just a stage, the band, and we're singing.
You have a little more freedom to do stuff.
Yeah, we could just do. I guess for the residency, we get to do a lot more. We have, the stage is amazing. The lighting, all the like I said, we have bubbles and so many fun things. So
yeah, well, that residency is in Las Vegas, so they do work hard in Vegas to control the climate in the room.
That's true.
And I'm sure you have it in that room so that it's perfect for you to be able to deliver every night.
Yes, it is. When I say perfect, and I love it because the theater is the place where the venue is. It's big, but it's not so big. It's still intimate.
Okay.
I love that because there's a part of the show where Jimmy will just get on the piano and talk to the crowd. You feel like you're sitting in Jimmy's living room, and he's just like, "Hey, remember this song?" And everybody's like, "Yeah." They play this game, and Jimmy will play just a few notes. And then you have to name that tune, So we play little games with the audience. And
name that tune with Jimmy Jam.
Yeah, it's really fun. And then the audience is like, I know it. And everybody's screaming, singing the songs out loud. And so it's really, really fun.
Yeah. Talk about Ruben. How is it working with Ruben?
Oh my goodness. First of all, Ruben and my husband are cousins. So
is that right?
Somewhat related to me in a sense. So Ruben is family.
Are they cousins who knew each other or did they find each other later?
Later.
Okay.
And so
that's hilarious.
I know. And so then, but I've always been a fan. Before I got to work with Ruben, I was a fan after watching him on American Idol. And and he when I tell you his voice, oh my goodness, I love singing with Ruben. I love singing with him. He does a segment where he does Luther Vandross tribute. And when I tell
Well, I'm going to
you,
remind our audience that Gladys Knight called him a velvet teddy bear.
no, that's what they call him. That's his nickname, the Velvet Teddy Bear. He really, that's the perfect name for him. That's the perfect name because his voice is smooth, like velvet, you know.
Yeah.
And I love singing with him because some singers, like we kind of know how to work together as far as like some singers was like just like sing on top of each other and it's just like ah. And with Ruben and I, like I feel like we kind of bounce off of each other, and I feel like we blend very well together.
Well, you got to be considerate. You can't sing over the top of your baby cousin.
Right. Exactly.
So is how much, let's see. You got Saturday Love for sure that you sing together.
Yeah,
What? What?
we do Can You Stand the Rain by New
Oh
Edition.
yeah.
And then we do Saturday Love. What's the other ones? Oh my gosh. Oh, we did Janet, Love Will Never Do. We
Okay.
do that song together because originally, a lot of people don't know this, but Jimmy talks about it in the show. When they wrote the song, it was supposed to be a duet with Janet and Prince.
Wow.
Prince was supposed to sing Love Will Never Do with Janet.
Oh my.
It didn't happen. I don't know what happened, but Prince didn't do it. And so Janet ended up doing it by herself. So they made that a duet in the show. So we
That's wonderful. I'm
Yeah.
so glad that you did that and that we know that now because man, I'm really sorry we missed that.
Yeah, and then we do like some of the SOS band.
Okay.
Do you still do you still care? Tell me if you still care. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm saying the right title. But what else do we do? So we do a couple of SOS band songs too.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of all the duets.
I wonder if there were songs that were added as duets after Jimmy and Terry got a feel for the way that the two of you interacted. Did it start off one way and then they said, you know what, we need to do more of this?
No, like right away, those songs that we're doing the duets on, like that was like what they wanted from the beginning.
Okay.
But I'm so excited because this time I hate to spoil the surprise, but they told me they wanted me to learn Black Cat by Janet. So I get to rock it. I get to rock it out a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, that whoever's on guitar got his work cut out for him too.
Oh my gosh, that's going to be so much fun.
That is going to be fun. And then, you know, I can just imagine that there's going to be a little interplay and you're going to walk backwards on that runway.
Right.
That'll be fun. So
choreographed and the dancers are going to go in, and I mean, I know it's going to be fun.
Do you have a bunch of costume changes too?
No, to be honest with you, there isn't time to change.
Wow.
Because it's literally myself and Ruben the whole time. So
yeah,
we just kind of, there's no costume changes.
Okay.
Time.
And it's a greatest hits. It's almost like a big 2-hour medley.
It really is.
You got to fit all those dang songs in there.
Yes, in 2 hours. We sing a lot of songs in 2 hours.
Wow. It's a nutrient dense set list.
Yes.
So what about the show are you going to, like, what practices have you adopted from this show where you know, no matter what, this is now imprinted on Shanice, and wherever I go, I'm going to make sure that my shows, did you learn anything from this particular show that you're going to like, that's mine now?
The main thing that I've learned, when I brought in my choreographer, Rosero McCoy, I brought him in as the choreographer for Vegas. And so I love working with him. So he's going to work with us again. So I was really happy about that. But I think the whole thing that I learned was the in-ears. That was like the main thing. I'm telling you, I was terrified about that. I hate to keep talking about that, but that was a big issue for me. And now I feel like, okay, I could do it now with the in-ears.
Oh, wow.
Also, I'm a very very shy person. Like, I'm a naturally shy person. And I've learned that,
you need to stop.
When I go on stage, like all that shyness and stuff has to go out the window. You know, singing is like, it's almost like acting in a sense. You know, when you go up on stage, you have to kind of act out what you're singing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've learned to like put all the shyness away and just like really just go for it.
You're not fooling anybody. We've been
I'm
watching you do
super
this since you were
shy.
11 years old.
I know. I've been doing it my whole life.
I remember when you won $5,000 on Star Search. We were like, she won $5,000.
Yes. Yes. Um, it's so crazy because I've been singing my whole life and I still get nervous every time.
Wow.
It just doesn't go away.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Well, how about these Las Vegas audiences? Is it different performing at a residency in Vegas? Is the audience that shows up to that different than one that you would find on the road?
no, I feel like because we've done shows outside of Vegas and I
Yeah.
feel like the energy is the same. Once they hear those hits,
Yeah.
like people automatically get up and dance and they're like,
Okay.
oh, I remember that song because it just takes you back to like the 90s and the 80s and so every show that I've done with them, the audiences have been like the same. Like they come ready to party. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Enthusiasm turned all the way up, no matter what.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, I mean, everybody goes to Vegas, I guess. So
Yeah.
everybody would go to see that
Yeah, you
would
go
see
to
you on
Vegas
the road.
fun and like, watch
Yeah.
shows and play on the slot machines. So people are there people go to Vegas to have fun.
Uh-huh.
So you get to
Okay.
have fun and listen to some great music at the same time.
Yeah. Well, you brought up emoting and storytelling. Is the show sequenced like a story, like the story of Jimmy and Terry throughout their careers, or how does that go?
Yeah, I feel like the show is, definitely telling their story because
Mhm.
even before I come out, there is like a presentation like on the big screen and it tells you like it talks about their Grammys and how many awards they've won and how many records they've sold and so is definitely storytelling, a lot of storytelling in the show for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And when I go to the show, I love all those hits, and I grew up, and those hits are all markers in my life, just I'm sure like yours and like everybody's. But I also still do want to see Shanice.
Well,
How much of the, like your vocal interpretation, did they
yeah,
pull you back and be like, let's do this a little more like Janet? Or did they say, go, be you
no,
and really do it?
yeah, they're like, do you. So I'm not there like trying to imitate Janet or any of their other artists. But one thing I don't do is I don't want to do so much of me and then because I want you to still feel the essence of the record, like to feel. So if I get up there and just start doing a whole bunch of runs and people kind of still want to hear the song, how it originally went. So
Okay.
um so yeah, so I kind of keep it similar to the record, but then I do add it's like every now and then I'll add a little something here and there. Uh,
Yeah.
but they want me to just do me. Like even when we do Together Again, I started off really slow and I make it like almost like gospel in a sense. And then the beat kicks in and then we go.
Build up. Uh-huh.
So it's really
And then
fun. So
here we
I
go.
a lot of like little things that I would do. And we do I Love Your Smile too. So I
Of
get to
course.
smile and Ruben gets to sing his hits. So
Oh, terrific.
yeah.
So it's not just the Jimmy and Terry hits show, because we also brought Shanice and Ruben, and they have hits.
Yes. So
So
that's
yeah,
nice of them. That's really nice of them because they didn't have to do that. It's their show. But it's really nice of them that, they're allowing us to sing our music too. So
the two of them are famous for taking an artist and making an artist comfortable. I mean, really, what they did with Janet Jackson allowed her to really cultivate her style and her career because they gave her space to do that. And it sounds like they're doing that for you as well in this show. Is that true?
yeah. Yeah. They're allowing me to be me. Yeah. It definitely that's definitely I agree with you on that because they're giving me the freedom to be me as well. So
Yeah. Okay. Ultimately, they are still producers. They reach in and get the best out of their artist, no matter who their artist is. And in this case, you're performing songs that they produced, but you're the artist now.
yeah, but you know what, Jimmy, like I noticed that Jimmy pays attention to like the lyrics. Like if it's like he knows their words like inside and out. So like he'll correct us on like if because sometimes like when I was learning the songs, I might have the rhythm, like I might sing it in a different rhythm or a different way. And Jimmy's like, no, it goes like this and da da da. So Jimmy really pays attention to like the details of a lot of,
Okay.
which is very
Wow.
helpful because I don't know. I'm like, I'm still learning, even though these are songs that I grew up listening to. Uh, I may know the melody, but I didn't know all the words. Like, you know how when you sing songs from the radio, sometimes you make up your own words and all that. So I thought that when I was asked to do this show, I said, oh yeah, I know those songs. I grew up on those songs, and when it was time for me to sing them, I was like, is that what
Is that what she said?
is that what said? Is that what Yolanda Adams said? I didn't know. So that was pretty funny. Yeah.
I
I've been
swear
singing
we've
along.
been on a road trip.
Huh?
I said, I swear we've been on a road trip
Yeah,
because I make up my own words to every song.
I do too. I do too. I'll mess up my own lyrics.
Man,
I'm terrible. I'm terrible.
what? Here's one thing I'm curious about is when you watch Jimmy and Terry at work, do you look at them and think like has Jimmy done something that make you go, man, Jimmy is bad, or Terry is
All the
over
time.
there smoking?
All the time. When I sit back and listen to them play instruments,
Yeah.
I'm like, man, they're so good, you know. And I sometimes when I listen to the lyrics, or you know, when I had to learn Together Again, I didn't know it was about someone who passed away, you know.
Oh.
And I was like, wow. I mean, I literally sat there and cried because I had to like. It was the first time I had to read the lyrics because
Hmm.
but over the years I would just listen to the video looks really happy and the music sounds really happy. So I was singing along to the hook, but I never really paid attention to the story of the song. So when I looked at when I was listening to reading the words, it brought tears to my eyes, you know. And I'm like, man, these guys are so brilliant. Um, they're great writers. They're great musicians. Um,
Yeah, they're so good at one of the things that makes them such great songwriters and producers. They're so effective at emoting on their instrument.
yes, they are. And to be, I'm just when I see them dance, when I see Jimmy up there doing choreography, holding his piano, and Terry's playing his bass, and they're doing all these moves, I'm like so impressed.
Yeah.
Um, it's just, and then one day we were at rehearsal. I never said this to them. I just said it in my head, but I kind of fanned out a little bit, you know. I was because we were learning the time. We were doing the bird, and
Yes.
they were teaching me the choreography to the bird and everything. And I just said, I'm up here with the time. Like,
Learning the choreography to the bird.
yeah. I just like I freaked out. I was like, wow, they're legends. Like, and I've known them for years, right? But I still like I don't take it for granted. And I still get excited, just like everybody else. Like, these guys are brilliant. I'm up here with them on stage, they're icons. And I'm
Yeah.
like up there with them. So I'm
Oh,
just
I
so
was a
grateful.
nut about the time. That was
Yeah,
my
me
favorite,
too.
you
Me
know.
too. Me
And
too.
I'm glad that they still do that to, you know, to that it still has that effect on you and they're still that effective with it. With the first run that you've done, how many shows have you guys done so far?
Jeez. Well, our Las Vegas run was like 6 shows. We did 6 shows in Vegas. That was just like I feel like that was just like a test run, you know.
Okay.
And that's why we're back because I think they were just kind of testing it out.
Yeah.
But before then, we went to Osaka. I did Tokyo with them. We did Osaka and Tokyo.
Wow.
And I can't remember how many shows it was, but we did several shows in Tokyo and several shows in Osaka.
Okay.
So I haven't like really counted, but
But
I
you got
just
dozens of shows under your belt now.
now I can say, okay,
You're settled.
I can breathe a little bit. Like
Uh-huh. Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Now, has there been like a backstage or behind the scenes moment where you really got to understand that like this show is this is a really great show? What besides learning the choreography of the of the time by Jimmy and Terry, what backstage moment, were you able to understand that, yeah, we're doing it. It's good.
Backstage moments where
Or on stage moment, or just was there a moment where you were like, okay, yeah, this happening.
I think I feel that way every time we're on stage.
Okay.
But backstage, I want to tell this story. Like I told you, they're so, when I tell you, super humble and like the
Uh-huh.
nicest guys you'll ever meet. So it's their show, right? And I remember we were in Japan and they gave me their dressing room and they sat out in the green room with the band the whole time and gave me their dressing room. And I was like, and I remember I said, Jimmy, I said, you guys can have, this is your room. I don't have to stay in this room. You guys can change in your dressing room. And they're like, no, you go ahead and take the dressing room. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like I felt so bad, like changing in their dressing room and they're out with everybody else, and I'm like, gosh, they're just so sweet.
Yeah. I mean, we're dudes. We could do that. But it's so nice that and once again, I mean, their reputation precedes them. Everybody who's ever been in any kind of situation where you have to deliver with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, it's the best.
And then they have a friendship that I think they should write a book so that, people can learn from them because they've never had an argument ever.
A book about friendship?
About friendship. They've never had an argument. They've had disagreements. There's
Sure.
things that they didn't agree on, but
Uh-huh.
they've never like had a big argument or stopped speaking or they've never gone through that. And they talk about it in their interviews. And I'm just
There'd
like,
never been a Jimmy and Terry fallout.
mm-mm. They said they've never ever had an argument. They've disagreed on things, but they've
Uh-huh.
never argued or like stopped speaking or. And
Have you seen that in action? I mean, there's has to be some sort of, artistic thing that they said, I think we should do it like this, or I think we should do it like that. How did they settle those things?
um well, there was this one thing. My choreographer came in, and like I told you, and he's doing the choreography for the show, and he made up his moves and everything. And um, I remember we did the dance. We had to show Terry. Jimmy wasn't there yet. And we had to show Terry the dance moves, and Terry watched it, and he was like, "Okay," he said, "Okay, I like it," And then Jimmy came in afterwards, and me and the dancers had to show Jimmy the choreography. And
Uh-huh.
Jimmy just got on his phone, and he just got really quiet. And I remember my choreographer was like nervous because he was like, does he like the moves? Like, what happened? And Jimmy said, you know, in our entire career, we've never started on the right. We always start on the left. And Terry was like, well, I noticed that, but I didn't know, I didn't say anything. And da, da, da. So I remember them talking about that because uh, so Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, when they perform, they always start on the left. They
Hmm.
never start on the right. That's one thing that I learned in that. Um, yeah. So I know they didn't have an
I was in
argument
the
about
marching
it.
band.
They didn't have an argument about it, but they were discussing. I just heard them discussing it. And I was just like,
Yeah.
I never know that. So every time we do choreography, most people start to the right. We're like most people are right-handed, and you might step to the right first and then you go to the left. But when they do their moves, they always start to the left.
Huh.
And that was one thing that I learned. I
I
learned.
played drums and I was in the marching band. And I
Okay.
always start to the left too.
You always start to the left.
So
Okay.
I can relate to that, but there was so Terry went along with it
Harry
immediately.
was gonna go along with it. He
Yeah.
didn't say anything. He said, well, I did notice that, but I didn't say anything. And Jimmy was like, yeah, Terry, we never start to the right. We always start to the left. And I was like, oh, wow. So now in my brain, when I'm on stage, because in in rehearsals, I kept forgetting. I kept starting to the right and everybody was over to the left. And I was like, I'm over to the right. And I was like, oh my gosh. So even on stage, like I have to remember, okay, we're going to all step to the left. I can't go to the right now. But that was one thing that was a little difficult for me that I had to just keep reminding myself, like, yeah.
I don't know if you could see this, but I just pulled up a picture of the first time I met Jimmy.
Oh,
I
wow.
think between the two of us, we had an extra 200 pounds in this photograph.
Wow.
Yeah. So I can't wait to meet him again and
Yes.
show
Are
him
you
this.
going to come to Vegas?
Yeah, I'll come to Vegas at some point soon.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
it's not that far away. But yeah, one of the things and we have a very good mutual friend who keeps wanting to put us together because he's seen that picture too. We have a mutual friend named Lanier. He's DJ Severe from Dodger Stadium. And so
I think
he
I might have met him before.
I think he was at the opening of the show.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
so yeah, you probably did meet him before, but yeah, I think one day he was, just doing his work, rocking Dodger Stadium, and somebody came up to take a tour.
I met him at a friend's event. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay, all right, yeah, that's my homeboy. Um, the show and experiencing the two of them like that. I'll ask you, do you have a friend in your life who is your equivalent to Jimmy or Terry, somebody in your life who you could say, we have never had an argument?
Um, I have so many friends that, yeah, I do. I have a friend who's like my sister. We've known each other since I was 8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had disagreement. Like we've had a couple of arguments though. I can't say we never had an argument, but we can't stay mad at each other for less than 5 minutes. Like right after we're mad, we're like, okay, what are we doing later today?
Yeah, okay. We could
But
cut
yeah,
it
I
out
do have
now.
a friend that I went to high school with, and we've never had an argument. So yeah, I do have friends that I've never. I do have friends like that I've known since like elementary school, high school.
Yeah.
I have a few friends. Yeah.
So do you think you could write that book?
I'm not a confrontational like type of person. I don't like confrontation.
I
So
don't enjoy it either.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I try to avoid it.
But do you think you could write that book? Just in case Jimmy and Terry can't write it, could you write it?
I think so. I think
Okay.
so. I
All
think
right.
I think I'm a very cool like friend, and I've had friends that like relationships like Jimmy and Terry. So I think I probably could.
Okay. I think I might try to hold you to that. If when we don't see that book from Jimmy and Terry in a couple years,
Right.
I'm gonna say, Shanice, you said you would write it.
Okay.
We want to know what the secrets are.
Exactly.
Because I'm going through my brain and I'm not a confrontational person. And I have tons of, like you, friendships where I'm sure people will say, yeah, we have a great friend. No, there was that one time that
Right.
we got
Yeah.
into it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I have a friend that is my, equivalent where I could say, man, no matter what, we have artistic differences or whatever it is, but we've never really done that. What would you say if you had to give some advice to an artist that's going to go into production with Jimmy and Terry, and they came to you and said, I'm so nervous. This is going to be my first big record, and they got me Jimmy and Terry to work with. What should I do? How should I prepare?
I would say, just be you, and don't be nervous, because when you get into the room with them, they are, like I said, they're going to make you feel comfortable right away. You forget after a while, when you spend a lot of time with them, you start to forget, like, wow, they're icons, because they make you feel that way. They make you feel like they care. And I've never been in actually, this is the live stuff. We've done a lot of the live stuff together. I haven't been in the recording studio with them yet, but I've talked to people like Shantae Moore, and I've talked to Yolanda Adams, and they were telling me what it's like to work with them. And even with the songwriting process, they're like fair when it comes to, collaborating with you. Because a lot of like songwriters, and especially when they're like on their level,
Yeah, accomplished.
Yeah, if they will come in because of their name, just take
Hmm.
majority. They'll just take majority of your publishing. Well, if you want to work with me, I'm taking 70% or 50%, and they didn't. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
sometimes they're not fair, but I heard that Jimmy and Terry are really, really fair when it comes to
Hmm.
collaborating in the studio with like songwriting and stuff like that.
That's awesome. I
Hmm.
heard a story that Jimmy told once about how he, they sort of do their own thing in the studio and they help each other and they're always there for each other. But sometimes a whole song happens and it's just Jimmy, or a whole song happens and it's just Terry. And
Yeah,
then they hear it on the radio and they go, man, I'll get half of that. I didn't even do anything.
right. And I think that's why they're still together. Like
Yeah,
they have that agreement, and it works. It
it
works,
works.
you know. And that's, yeah, I've heard them tell that story a lot. Like, yeah, there's sometimes Jimmy will do a whole song or Terry will do a whole song, but they split in half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, since this residency and this show has generated all this demand, and now you're coming back and doing more of them. What are you looking forward to in doing more of these shows?
I'm looking forward to just being on that stage with them again, and singing with Ruben, and just hearing the band, and I'm just looking forward to all of it. The audience, you know, they showed us so much love the first time, and so I'm excited about going back because it was a great experience. Like it was all positive. There was nothing. I didn't walk away from that first time with anything like to say negative. It was all positive. Even the people at the venue that worked for the venue's called the Voltaire. Like even the people that worked, the staff and just everybody was so pleasant. And
Wow.
I'm just looking forward to experiencing that again. All of it. The dancing, the dancers, my choreographer, all of that.
That's fantastic. That is so good.
Yeah.
Would you say that this is the most rewarding thing when it comes to everything coming together the way that it did, the way that you describe it? Is this the best yet?
Yes. This was like one of the best. I'm also, I don't know if, because is this show only about live performances? Because I'm in a musical. I'm wearing the jacket now. It's called
Oh,
44.
okay.
And I play Michelle Obama. And the show is about Barack Obama, and I'm playing Michelle. And I want to say that performing with Jimmy and Terry and going in the studio soon with them is definitely, as a recording artist, it's a recording artist dream. This is a dream come true for me. So I'm like super, super excited. I said I have to pinch myself every day. Like, is this really happening? Like, wow. But I also love theater. I also love acting. I grew up doing theater, and I'm in this musical called 44. It's about Barack Obama. I'm playing Michelle, and we started this thing like almost 4 years ago, and everywhere we go, our shows are sold out. We just did an off 3 months in New York. We did an off Broadway run in New York
Hmm.
over the holiday, mass holiday. But we just did 6 weeks in DC, in Washington DC. We've done Philly, Chicago,
Yeah,
LA, and we've had a lot of celebs come out to support.
I'm
We're,
sure.
we're getting really good reviews.
You
So
know what? I'm a little bit upset that in a 55-minute show you picked a minute 53 to bring this up.
I'm sorry. I was like waiting because you were talking about the Jimmy Terry. So maybe the interview is just about that. But I was like, okay. But I
Well,
just want to say,
we had a lot to talk about
yes,
that, but can we do another one and talk about that when you're ready to do that?
absolutely.
I am
Absolutely.
so excited about that, especially because of this nonsense about Michelle Obama. She is the most classy, most elegant, most beautifully articulate, wonderful mother. I mean, she's everything, and she was such an amazing first lady. And for
Amazing.
anybody to have any kind of, even in jokes to
Yeah.
disrespect how amazing she was. And so I'm happy that you're celebrating them and especially her, and that you get to play her is fantastic. And then
Yes.
I would say, so you guys did a run in DC. That means she had to come and see it.
Well, she knows about it. The Obamas know
Okay.
about it because some of their former staff members have seen it. Their friends
Uh-huh.
have seen it. Kamala Harris heard us. We sang at a charity event, and we sang a few of the songs from the show. She heard some of the songs, loved it. We've had Mayor Karen Bass. She loved it. She came twice because she loved it.
Okay.
So yeah, we've had
But the
Stevie Wonder.
Obamas haven't been yet.
They haven't been yet, but we've had Martin Lawrence, Stevie Wonder, LL Cool J, Sherry Shepherd. Like the list goes on and on.
Yeah.
Angela Bassett came to see us in New York.
Oh, come on.
So I mean, yeah.
This is I guess doing a play and having Angela Bassett come and watch you is almost like well, almost like singing in front of Jimmy and Terry.
It is. It is. I was so nervous, and I know her, but I still fan out when I see her because I'm
Yeah.
like the biggest Angela Bassett fan. So I was, when I knew she was in the audience and she's one of the greatest to ever do it, I was extremely nervous, but
Wow.
she loved it so much. She loved it.
Okay. Well, you know what? I'm so happy to make your acquaintance. I was, kind of fanning out when you showed up in the room too. So I was trying to keep myself contained because I've been
Oh,
a big fan of
thank
yours
you.
for a long, long time.
Oh,
And
I
now I
appreciate
will
you.
say you are absolutely delightful, and everything that everybody says, because everybody always just says nice things about you too.
Oh, I appreciate that. Oh, wow. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for doing this with us. And so, everybody, the show is the residency of Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. It's at the Venetian in Las Vegas. Get your tickets. The thing sells out. It's going to be
Well, the theater
magnificent.
is called the Voltaire.
The
So
Voltaire
yeah, that's
is the
where it's
theater at the
it's in the
Venetian.
Venetian, but that's in the theater is called the Voltaire. It's in the Venetian.
And like you said, it's a pretty intimate theater for, I mean, it seats a fair amount of people, but it's not, you're not talking about Wembley Stadium, folks. So the
Yeah,
tickets are limited. Go get them.
please come
Yeah.
out.
Our guest today has been Shanice, and I was a big fan when we started this. I'm a bigger one now.
Oh,
If
thank you
there's
so
anything
much.
at all that you're doing that comes around the Bay Area, and if there's anything that needs foot soldiers or anything, just going to say yes to everything that you're doing always.
Oh, I appreciate you so much. I really do. Thank you.
Okay.